The industry gross margin budgets aim to represent the incomes and costs of commercially growing a best practice cotton crop. The current suite of gross margins includes a range of production scenarios, including furrow irrigated, so that includes owner-operator costings, and then we've got another one which shows fully contracted costings. We have a semi-irrigated budget, an overhead irrigated budget, and a dryland or rain grown. We've actually also recently added 2 budgets for Northern Australia, which is relatively new growing regions. And we've got an irrigated and a rain grown budget for those regions as well. The Cotton Info gross margin budgets are updated every 2 years. The gross margins represent the difference between gross income and variable costs. They're expressed in either per hectare or per megalitre. They're useful because you can compare gross margins for different enterprises and allocate your resources efficiently if you're looking at the gross margin for your most limited resource. For example, in my case, it's not land, it's water. A cotton crop varies from field to field on a farm, let alone the differences in operations that you'll see from, say, hay to emerald. So it would be impossible to represent every different farmers or different regions growing scenarios. So what we do is create some indicative budgets to show those general operations that look like they'll be applicable for the coming season. And we go in depth in finding out pricing so that it's all up to date. While the budgets do appear generic, it's quite easy then for you to use them as a starting point and create your own. You do this by changing any of the variables. For example, if I was looking at the current budgets and I'd be thinking forward to the next season, I would start with the furrow irrigated budget and start changing some things. Say, for example, the cotton lint price to account for forward marketing. Hopefully people have been able to capitalise on some of the higher prices. I'd then, considering my farm and field history, I'd look and perhaps adjust the fertiliser rates for my farm down, and unfortunately at the moment would probably have to adjust the fertiliser pricing up. So you can do that, go through line by line and look at what is the most likely scenario for your farm. We use contractors for a few operations, so if I didn't have the pricing on hand, I could go to the contractor budget and get those prices and then swap them out for the owner-operator budgets. So by tweaking the budget that is closest to your growing scenario, you can really get a pretty good indication of what your cotton gross margin will be for your farm. With irrigation water, that's another one that you might need to look at, the fees and charges and the cost of pumping, and obviously that really varies depending on your water source, surface water versus groundwater, and that will change your cost of pumping. For those growers contemplating cotton in Northern Australia, one of the main variables they'll need to look at is module freight costs. So as we've got gins being built and finished, that will massively change the transport costs. What we've done in our assumption is it's a freight from Katherine to St George, so it's pretty significant, and that'll be one line item that the individuals will need to change for Northern Australia. Gross margins don't take into account risk or overhead costs such as permanent labour, machinery depreciation or interest payments. So on their own, they don't calculate farm profit. They're an excellent tool to compare different enterprises to help with crop selection. They can be used for cash flow budgeting and also some scenario management. The cotton gross margin budgets can be found on the Cotton Info website.